My fiancé feels dismissed/unheard during conflicts because, deep down, I struggle to see the significance of the conflict. We have been together for almost 5 years, but have been having some communication problems that very often unnecessarily escalate, which is seriously straining our relationship. Title maybe doesn't capture the full story/magnitude. We will often be having a neutral/pleasant conversation, when I say something with poor wording that she interprets as offensive. For example, we're talking about how good she is at learning about new people and I say something like, "Yeah, you have a way at picking and prying into a person's mind to learn about what they like and don't like." Keep in mind, I didn't say this in a way that was insulting/stern/annoyed with her. It was genuinely me trying to express my understanding and appreciation of her unique social skills. Obviously prying has some negative connotation, and she picked up on that and became a bit defensive. I quickly apologized and tried to reword what I said, doing my best to reassure her that I absolutely did not mean to come off as rude/insulting. Despite me trying to clarify my intent so that we could move on with the conversation, she remained very stern that I should not say things like that to her. Obviously, I agreed that that was very poor wording. But this is where I begin to get a little annoyed, because she will not drop it. We were having such a nice conversation, I slipped up and tried to clarify my actual intent as quickly as possible, but me clarifying that I meant no harm, and am sorry, has left her feeling dismissed and invalidated. Meanwhile, I feel a little silly that I even had to go to those lengths to clarify a misunderstanding, and that I am still in trouble with her after the fact. This is just one example from a while ago that seems to sum our pattern up well. I make a little slip up, she catches it and latches onto the negative, I try to explain my actual intent and right my wrong, and she becomes more upset that I am not taking more ownership of being mean. But my frustration grows, because I wasn't being mean. I just explained/reworded what I meant. Can we please continue our happy conversation and be happy with each other? And unfortunately, after many of these little scuffles, I am becoming a little desensitized to her raising concern over things I say/do. More often than not, way less serious than the example above. I am not happy that I feel this way. But how am I supposed to predict that the most trivial things I say or do will be misinterpreted as having malicious intent before I do them? I don't mind clarifying myself in the moment at all. But her ask of me lately to help us end our bickering has been, don't say these things to me in the first place, and we won't get into these scuffles. I feel like I am walking on eggshells around her, constantly trying and failing to vet what I say before I say it, because I don't know how it will be interpreted. Over time, she has focused less on what I specifically say, and more on how this pattern is making her feel. Specifically how she feels invalidated/unheard/dismissed when I simply try to clarify myself so that we can move on with the conversation. This has led to accusations of being a bad, unthoughtful, dismissive partner. I feel as if I'm being forced into this defensive position of myself rather than taking a more tender "I'm sorry, I was wrong, it won't happen again" approach that she's looking for, hence fueling the cycle of her feeling dismissed and unheard. I do not know how to give her that when these little things pop up from such trivial day-to-day conversations. To me, "Oh sorry, I actually meant it this way" should be the end of it. I hate that my instinctual feeling when one of these pops up now is to be annoyed that it's brought up as a problem in the first place. I would love to just admit fault and stop at sorry without clarification of intentions, but that seems like a total acceptance of wrongdoing, which feels very unfair to me. This pattern has also leaked into other conflicts outside of just misunderstandings. For example, I may forget to do a chore around the house. When it is brought up by her, I give a sincere apology and try to make it right. I may say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to forget. I'll do it now, it was truly no big deal, and I just don't understand why my above response is not enough to end the issue then and there." She is very much of the mindset of, if you respected me, it wouldn't happen in the first place, which leads to me getting frustrated that my apology and attempt to right my wrong was not enough for her. I am also becoming increasingly frustrated by her more aggressive bringing up of these issues. Why is such a trivial slip-up, of a magnitude that she does at the same frequency, evoking such a strong initial confrontation? It is putting me on defense almost immediately. I never confront her about these sorts of things, because they are just so trivial. I give her the benefit of the doubt that she didn't mean harm. Clearly, our pattern is fueling itself, and I don't know how to put a stop to it. What can I do to have a more productive attitude toward this reoccurring theme, so that I can be in a better position to give her the more tender response she is looking for, rather than my feeling lately of being frustrated that my attempts to rectify are not enough? How can I politely request her to play for my team in interpreting the intent behind things I say/do, rather than defaulting to playing against me and assuming I had bad intentions? Keep in mind how dead set she is on the just don't say/do these things and we won't have these problems mindset she currently has. Comment. I'm curious if there a consistent theme behind the things she gets irritated about. There might be some fear or insecurity on her part that is getting triggered by the smallest things. It could help to slow the conversation down and get really curious as to what's driving her emotions so that you can give her the deeper reassurance she might be craving. It sounds like there's also an opportunity to let her know how you feel about her nitpicking what you say, i.e. unappreciated, walking on eggshells. Don't make it about her doing something wrong, but about how those interactions make you feel in the relationship. There's a show in Apple TV called Couples Therapy which I've found to be hugely helpful in understanding how communication in relationships breaks down. It might be interesting to watch together. Constantly walking on eggshells around her? My man, you're being emotionally abused and don't know it. Since she's your fiancé, you should get couples counseling before things escalate any further. In my humble experience, usually there's an underlying resentment or an unresolved issue that leads to this type of behavior. You need to figure out what's going on before getting married. Next story. I want to end the relationship with my BF. I may be the wrong one in this situation, but I don't know what to do. I met my BF 3 years ago at a wedding. He was very charismatic and stood out in a crowd. I said to my friend, he looks like a cool person to hang out with, and that was it. I got busy in my own things, but later he approached me saying I'm cool person. Turns out his brother was behind us and heard us talk. But never mind, he asked if I want to go out with him. I said we'll see, but I went out with him. It was best decision of my life. We started talking a lot, then became friends. One day he told me he wants to take things further and has feelings for me. I felt the same. This was 3 years ago. Our relationship is and always was great. In March 2022 my father passed due to heart attack. My whole life got scattered. Life was a burden for me then, but my BF was supportive. He stayed like a rock by my side. I live with my sister and cousin. So here where everything started to fall apart for me. My older sister got cheated on by her BF who was with her for 7 years. My sister got depressed. We admitted her to hospital. She got better. But I can see her pain. If this was not enough, my cousin also got dumped by her BF because he found another girl. I don't know if cheating was involved. Seeing them both like that broke my heart. I told my BF, and guess what? Got another devastating news. The wedding where we met that couple got divorced too. I don't know why, but this messed with my head. Like everyone are breaking up, getting divorced, cheating. What's for me now? I got scared that something might happen with us. It's been 2 weeks now and I can't eat or sleep properly. I'm just overthinking. I don't know guys, but after my dad's death everything getting worse. Nothing is good anymore. I think about my BF a lot. I don't want him to suffer because of my selfishness. I recently said something like, what if we get separated, and he said it can't happen. I didn't say anything further. He is great guy. I don't want to fill his life with misery and negativity. I also don't want to leave him, but I don't have any options left. I will go crazy just by overthinking. I know I'm the bad guy here. I'm stuck in the middle. What can I do now? Do I need to end it? Or wait for some days to think properly? How do I even talk to him about this? Comment. Have you tried seeing a therapist? My GF and I went through a horrible tragedy together and she stayed depressed longer than me. We spoke about it often and I wanted to meet her needs with where she was because I love her. Talk to him about this, and if he loves you then he'll support you through the hard times and the good times. There was a relationship coach I saw who said a relationship isn't 50/50ths. Sometimes it's 10/90ths or 60/40ths. Sometimes you can't give the same your partner is giving. Point being is, what happens when he's in a rut? Don't you want him to rely on you? So the thought is, I want to protect him from the negativity I might bring into his life. If this is the thought, then why have friends or any relationship in general knowing something bad could happen that will make you sad and negative? Not trying to sound rude. Life isn't always good. You need to have someone who will ride the down waves with you. Negative part of life sucks, but negative part of life sucks more without the person you love. The highs of life are higher with my partner, and the lows are more manageable because of her also. He sounds like he's there for you through thick or thin though, so that should provide some cheer for you. Smiley face. Tomorrow I will tell him everything, each single detail, and let him decide what he wants to do. As much as I know him, he will choose to stick with me. And if he says he wants to be with me, I will drop this breakup plan. And thank you for your advice. Happy for you and your GF. Don't feel like you have to tell him everything, but I would avoid breaking up with him because you see other relationships going into turmoil. But for me, I told my girl I wanted a teammate in the relationship. And I was having problems. With my parents' divorce, for example, I would ask if she'd be my teammate and let me talk/vent/get advice, whatever I needed, and I know she would gladly be there.